Ethan Harper was not your typical teenager. At 17, he had a knack for solving problems that would leave even seasoned adults scratching their heads. Ethan was the youngest child in a family steeped in legacy. His father, Robert Harper, was once the mayor of Greenfield, a small but proud city. His mother, Margaret Harper, was a compassionate nurse who had saved countless lives during her service. Ethan's two older brothers, Jason and Liam, were decorated veterans, each having earned medals for their bravery in the military. Ethan admired his family deeply, but he always felt out of place, as if his calling was something different. Despite his young age, Ethan had an extraordinary gift, an unparalleled mind for logic and law. From a young age, he would devour legal books that others found intimidating. He would often watch courtroom dramas, not for entertainment, but to analyze the strategies and flaws in arguments. His passion for justice grew stronger when his best friend, Noah, was wrongfully expelled from school due to a misunderstanding. Ethan had stepped in, researched the school's policies, and drafted a compelling appeal that not only reinstated Noah, but also forced the school to revise its disciplinary procedures. Greenfield's courthouse was a place Ethan often visited as an observer. He would sit quietly in the back, absorbing every detail of the proceedings. Most people dismissed him as just another curious teenager. That was until the day that would change everything. It was an ordinary Tuesday when Ethan walked into the courthouse, backpack slung over his shoulder. The case being heard that day was between a struggling single mother, Lisa Turner, and a powerful real estate tycoon, Victor Prescott. Prescott was trying to evict Lisa and her two children from their home, claiming she had violated the lease terms. Lisa had no attorney; she couldn't afford one. Prescott, on the other hand, had a team of high-profile lawyers. Ethan listened intently as the Judge Raymond Grant, presided over the case. Judge Grant was known for his stern demeanor and little patience for what he considered nonsense. Lisa's arguments were heartfelt but scattered. Prescott's lawyers, armed with their legal jargon, easily dismissed her pleas. Ethan couldn't take it anymore. He raised his hand. The courtroom turned to look at him, and Judge Grant raised an eyebrow. "Who are you?" the judge asked, his tone dripping with skepticism. "My name is Ethan Harper," he replied, his voice steady, "and I would like to represent Miss Turner." The courtroom erupted in whispers. "Represent her?" the judge said, almost laughing. "Son, this isn't a school debate club. Do you even know what you're talking about?" Ethan stood his ground. "Yes, Your Honor. I've studied the law extensively. If you allow me to proceed, I believe I can help." Judge Grant smirked. "All right, young man. Let's see what you've got. But I warn you, this is a court of law, not a playground." Ethan approached the podium with confidence. He had spent the previous night studying real estate law out of sheer curiosity, and now it seemed like fate had placed him here. "Your Honor," Ethan began, "according to Section 28 of the state's Residential Lease Act, a landlord must provide a tenant with written notice of any alleged violations and a reasonable period to rectify them. Mr. Prescott did not provide Miss Turner with such a notice." Prescott's lead attorney, a man named Charles Whitman, chuckled. "Your Honor, this is absurd. The boy is cherry-picking laws." Ethan wasn't deterred. "I'm not cherry-picking, Mr. Whitman. I have the lease agreement right here." He held up a copy. "It clearly states that any disputes must adhere to state law. If you'd like, I can read it aloud." Judge Grant leaned forward. "Is this true, Mr. Whitman?" Whitman stammered. "Well, Your Honor, the lease agreement does contain such a clause, but—" "No buts," Judge Grant interrupted. "The boy is right. Mr. Prescott, you've got some explaining to do." During a recess, Ethan sat with Lisa and her children. She thanked him profusely, tears in her eyes. Ethan smiled, but couldn't help thinking about his family. He remembered how his father always stood up for the people of Greenfield, even when it wasn't politically advantageous. He thought of his mother's tireless nights at the hospital and his brothers risking their lives for the country. Ethan realized he wasn't so different from them after all. That evening, Ethan's mother called him. She had heard about his courtroom heroics. "I'm proud of you, Ethan," she said. "But don't forget, the road to justice isn't always easy. As the case unfolded, Ethan uncovered something shocking. Prescott had been using forged documents to claim violations against Lisa. Ethan presented his findings in court, complete with proof. "Your Honor," Ethan said, "these documents are fraudulent. The signatures don't match and the dates are inconsistent." Judge Grant examined the evidence. "Mr. Prescott, is this true?" Prescott's face turned pale. "I had no idea. My lawyers handle everything." Ethan wasn't buying it. "Ignorance isn't an excuse, Mr. Prescott. You tried to take advantage of a struggling mother. That's not just unethical, it's cruel." The courtroom was silent. Judge Grant looked at Ethan with newfound respect. "Young man," he said, "you've done something extraordinary today." Lisa won the case, and Prescott was ordered to pay damages. As the courtroom emptied, Judge Grant approached Ethan. "You've got talent, kid," he said. "If you ever want to pursue a career in law, come see me." Ethan smiled. "Thank you, Your Honor. I just wanted to do what was right." Back at home, Ethan's family celebrated his victory. For the first time, Ethan felt he had truly earned his place in the Harper legacy, not as a soldier, a nurse, or a mayor, but as someone who fought for justice in his own way. That's the story, friends. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a pleasure sharing it with you all. Don't forget to comment below and let me know where you're watching from. It's always fun to see the global reach of these stories. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button for more amazing stories, tips, and tricks. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. If you'd like to show some extra love, tap the 3 dots near the share button and send a super thanks.